Are mistakes a good thing? Should you avoid mistakes? Can mistakes be good? Why are mistakes good? Hey everyone, my name is Marcella Dominguez, and if you are new here, I help small and medium-sized companies protect their brands, slogans, logos, and also help them with building their YouTube channel. I'm really excited that you found me because you can scroll down into the description and speak with me on a one-on-one basis whenever you'd like. So if you're ever wondering, how do I get to speak to her? Scroll down into the description. It's also free to send me an email. So if you're thinking, maybe I'm not ready to speak to her, sending me an email is always free. So back to our video. Why are mistakes good, and can they be a good thing? To be honest with you, I think it really depends on what you're talking about. So if you're somebody that's thinking of doing a DIY application and you have no experience and you're thinking you can tackle this on your own, then great, kudos to you. But if you make a mistake along the way, it's going to cost you time and it's going to cost you money. That is not always the case for other types of projects. Other types of projects may only cost you time. If it only costs you time, you might think to yourself, okay, well, no problem. It was only 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour. And if I didn't try, how was I going to know whether it would work or not? So if you're okay with wasting 15 or 30 minutes or an hour of your time for the sake of learning, then that's okay. And to be honest with you, when you are starting a business, that is just the lay of the land. That is what you are going to encounter. You might either end up wasting time or you might end up wasting money. And so is it a mistake to waste time or money? Well, not necessarily if it turns out to be a learning opportunity. I heard something really great that really resonated with me, and it was on one of Tai Lopez's social media channels. I can't remember which one, but he said you do not always have to learn from your own mistakes. It is great if you can learn from the mistakes of others, because then you don't have to repeat those mistakes. So anytime somebody says you learn from your mistakes, you move on up, you grow up, when you know better, you do better, well, that applies to other people's mistakes too. And that is something, to be honest, that I had never really thought about. And when I heard that, I thought, oh my gosh, that is something that's so obvious, right? I mean, for example, if you're a kid and you tell your best friend, hey, don't kick the ball that hard because it's gonna end up in the neighbor's yard, and he doesn't listen and he kicks it hard anyway and it ends up in, you know, like 4 houses down, then yeah, he kind of figured out that it was a mistake, and it was a mistake that could have easily been avoided had he listened to the friend that told him that, because it was a mistake he had already made. When it's someone else's mistake, it's nice because you don't have to repeat that mistake. You learn from someone else's hard-learned lesson. And so when you translate that into a mistake or a misstep in business, it's really important to try to avoid as many hurdles and obstacles and challenges as you can. The entrepreneurial journey is not always going to be a smooth one. What I'm trying to say is that if you can avoid the humps, the challenges, and making really bad mistakes that cost you time or money, then you are going to save yourself a lot of anxiety, a lot of headaches, and just a lot of detriment. And this isn't to say that because you're learning from someone else, you're never going to have your own set of challenges. You will, but the more you can minimize the challenges that other people have already experienced, the more productive your own journey will be, because at least then you're only facing new challenges for which you can then either change your mentor or change your business coach. So how do you learn from other people's mistakes, especially if you don't have a lot of entrepreneurs surrounding you? Well, you need to find a mentor. So that means that you need to find somebody who's a couple steps ahead of you. And this isn't just in any type of business. This is somebody who is headed in the direction of where you want to go and is ahead of you. If you're somebody who's building a software, then you don't want to go to somebody who has a product-based business, because their challenges are going to be a lot different than yours as a software-based business. So what I'm saying is you need to be very clear on what your goals are so that you can learn from those other person's mistakes, and that person will serve as your mentor. Now, do you actually have to have them on the phone speaking to you in emails? No, not necessarily. There are books that you can read, podcasts you can listen to. Mentors are all around you, but you have to actively be searching for them. So in other words, how does this translate into making mistakes and learning from those mistakes? Well, you have to actively go out and look for the mistakes that people have made. They're not just going to appear on your doorstep. They're not going to fall into your lap. To be honest with you, most entrepreneurs and people don't go out searching for mistakes. You don't go to Google and say, what mistakes have entrepreneurs made? No, but you have to listen to people's experiences. You have to listen to people's stories, to their journeys, to their paths. So by actively watching people's Instagram stories, again, who are in a position of where you want to be and where you want to grow, you will in real time be witnessing what challenges they're encountering right now. So social media is actually a great tool for you to learn about other people's mistakes. So what do you do when you encounter your own mistake? Well, again, you want to find somebody who has either been there or done that, who is steps ahead of you and is in a position of where you want to be. And even though they might not have encountered this particular problem, they might have a really, really great perspective on how to avoid that problem, because maybe they heard about or saw somebody who went through your mistake, even though they didn't themselves. So you guys, you have to leverage the power of relationships, because people know more than you think they know and are more experienced in particular areas, but you have to know where to look. You can't just expect them to fall into your lap. So for example, if you're starting a business and you don't want to make as many mistakes as the next Tom, Dick, or Sally, then make sure that you listen to other business-minded people, whether it be on YouTube, podcasts, or on Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media platforms you enjoy. Make sure you go and you follow them, you identify them. So other people's mistakes are really where the gold lies, and especially if that person is way ahead of you in business or wherever it is that you want to go. Other people's mistakes can be a gold mine of information for you, but you have to actively look for those people who are where you want to be and learn from them, because you will save yourself a lot of time and a lot of headaches. So if starting a business is something that's really been on your mind, make sure you scroll down into the description below and you send me an email, because it is free to do so. I would be more than happy to answer any of your business related questions, especially if it revolves around protecting your business name or protecting your brands. But if you're interested in marketing on YouTube and avoiding the mistakes that I made when I first started, then make sure you scroll down into the description below. Do you think it's okay to make mistakes of your own, or do you prefer to learn from other people's mistakes? Tell me in the comments below what your preference is, and tell me, more importantly, what podcasts, YouTube videos, social media influencers you are going to follow to learn from other people's mistakes. If you want to listen to some of the biggest mistakes that business owners have made, make sure that you head to my podcast. The link is down below, and you can hear of their stories, their journeys, where they share not only their mistakes, but also their wins and their biggest tips for business success.